Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming Pugsley Addams from the 1991 and 1993 Addams Family movies, Jimmy Workman. He's coming on the podcast today to talk about the making of the Addams Family movies. I also want to ask him about some other roles that he did. He was in Black Sheep, As Good as It Gets. He even did an episode of Matlock, and I'm going to ask him about all that stuff today. He's promoting his appearance at the Hollywood Show January 31st and February 1st in Burbank, California. And I can't wait. So yeah, here is my interview with Jimmy Workman. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Well, it's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah. So, going back in time, of course, you were a child actor, and I know that The Addams Family was your first movie, but did you start acting in commercials and theater before that?
No, my mom's babysitter actually quit on her when one of my family members actually was auditioning, and I just ended up tagging along. And they ended up seeing me and asked me to read for it.
Wow.
So mine was just a fluke accident.
Wow.
One of those right time, right place moments.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, and your parents weren't in the business or anything?
No, parents weren't in the business. Family member was just did small stuff here and there and was auditioning for it, and I was just tagging along for the ride, and they ended up seeing me. So it was one of those right time, right place moments.
You're originally from Virginia?
I was born in Virginia and then moved to New York when I was about, I think, 6 years old, 7 years old, and then this all happened right before I turned 9.
Wow. You consider yourself a bi-coastal?
I've got family all over, from New York to Virginia, Greece. So I don't make it back east that much. I recently went back to do some shows, and I got to visit some family. But other than that, I haven't been back to the East Coast for probably, I'd say, a good 27 years.
Wow. Long time.
Oh, yeah. But it was cool to see New York and everything when I was there, and Cincinnati and Florida, all different places that I went for the shows.
Yeah, New York was probably a little different then.
Well, I grew up in Queens and Astoria when I lived there. It was actually really cool to go back and see the old neighborhood and how much it's changed. And like all the new stores, some of the stuff is still the same.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of new stores.
Yeah. Everywhere you go now. Everywhere you go now has become just all stores. It's all shopping.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of the old restaurants, because Queens and Astoria is primarily like the little Greek area.
Yeah.
And some of the delis and stuff are still there, right by the N train. So that was pretty cool. And I grew up above a place that was called Nick's, like Deli, a little Greek spot down below. Small little apartment up top. So it was pretty cool, actually, being able to go and see that.
Nice. So were you familiar with the original series when you were cast?
No. I had never seen it, and they never wanted us to see it. We only got to see, like, the illustrations, like comic book stuff. Anything like that we did see. But I had never seen the Addams Family prior to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had Carell Stroiken on here back in November, and he told me that Orion originally made the movie, but they were in the middle of bankruptcy, and so they had to sell the movie to Paramount.
Yeah. Carl's a great guy. He's really cool. He's a gentle giant.
Yeah, I met him at a convention, and I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6'3", and so he was huge next to me.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. But how was working with everybody on that movie?
Everybody was really cool. You know, I mean, I was never really an actor prior to this, so I was just a bratty kid.
Mm-hmm.
But with the amount of time that it took to shoot the films, everybody was more or less, it became kind of like a second family.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had a lot of fun. In between takes, it took a while to set up. So, you know, Christopher Lloyd with his jokes, Angelica Houston was more motherly type. Raul Julia was great. He liked to sing, so he would break out in all these songs and everything.
Christopher Lloyd, that's surprising that he told jokes, because he's known for being very shy and quiet on movie sets.
Well, yeah, but I think it was so long ago, and when there's kids involved and everything, and it's kind of like a second family, it's more or less, it was a fun time. I mean, because the Addams Family movies, yeah, they are iconic, but at the same point, I mean, all the cool stuff that they had on the sets and everything else, like fish tanks, bear traps, train sets, there was always something to do, and it was more like fun time when everybody was just hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how was Raul Julia?
He's an awesome, awesome man. I mean, you know, in the second movie that we filmed, my grandmother had come to set, and she's from Greece. And he had such a good time talking with her. He actually delayed filming because on the side of the hill in Burbank, where they put up the facade of the house, there was spinach growing on the side. So he actually stopped filming and went and picked spinach and talked to my grandmother and my grandfather. So he was a very caring, awesome man.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we lost him way too soon. He was such a great actor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of great actors, you also, in the first one, you had Dan Hedaya in it.
Oh, yeah. Dan was really cool. He had a good time as well. I mean, as far as getting to know, like when you're that young, getting to know all these famous actors and huge names, it's something that children really don't comprehend. It's more or less, okay, great, when are we done filming? Because I want to go drive a golf cart and wreck it.
Yeah.
Or I want to go eat, or I want to go play in the trailer after you do your school and all that stuff.
Yeah. But you got to know probably Christina more.
Yeah, Christina, she's really cool. We had a lot of fun. I mean, it's like any brother and sister, even though it's an on-screen one, spend a lot of time together. So she, in turn, was kind of like a sister. So, you know, the same thing. Kids play, they fight, they argue, they get annoyed with each other. But genuinely, they care.
Yeah. She's got so many great lines in both movies. You know, my favorites are like, you know, are they made from real Girl Scouts?
You know, there were so many different scenes in different places. I mean, like the camp scene, we went to Bakersfield. We had a lot of fun. Water was really cold. But, you know, I got to see different places and things that most kids never really get to do. And it was a pretty good experience.
Yeah, speaking of that, what was it like filming the Thanksgiving sequence in the second one?
It was fun. The costume that they had was a little big. It was bulky. But I'll tell you one thing, it kept me warm when everyone else was freezing.
Yeah.
It was fun, you know, like the choreography with the dancing and how you're supposed to do it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, I just wanted to go and have fun. So
yeah,
when it was filming and even in that scene, I mean, I just wanted to roll around in it and have the costumes and wardrobe department get really upset with me and chase me around for trying to roll around in that big old thing.
Yeah. The people still quoting to you, "Eat me."
You know what? Even I've heard that my entire life, and even at some of these shows, they're like, "Can you please write a, like a saying that Pugsley would say?" Pugsley did not say a lot of words. I just stole signs and got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But that was one of the sayings they wanted me to put on there.
Yeah.
With signing. So I was very cautious about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole scene is great. Wednesday is so right on target with the plight of the Indians in that scene that all these quote-unquote social justice warriors out there use it as an example of how Indians were treated by the Pilgrims now, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like all the Facebook posts I see, the one with Christina the most is a lot from the camp scenes, and a lot of Christina and I was the Girl Scout cookies. And it's funny because a lot of my friends tag me in those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of it, through friends of mine and acquaintances that don't really know I'm Pugsley, or I was.
Yeah.
They post me and tag me and all that stuff, and it's kind of funny because I get a good laugh at it.
Yeah. Did you ever meet the original Pugsley, Ken Weatherwax?
No, I didn't. But the funny thing about all that is Kenny Weatherwax he was in the same industry that I'm in now. We both remained in film, but more or less into the background of it. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
He became, I think he was a grip, if I'm not mistaken. And they take care of all the sets and facades, building everything. Everything that you see on the movies comes from either the grips, the electricians, the art departments, props. So he stayed related, and then I became a Teamster. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're pretty much familiar with what the term of a Teamster is.
Oh, yes. My dad was a Teamster. My dad was a Teamster for the San Francisco Chronicle back in the day.
Awesome. Yeah. So I became a Teamster. We actually worked on a show together. And the funny thing is, neither of us knew who each other were. Uh-huh. Until it was too late that we couldn't have met. But it would have been really cool to meet him.
Yeah. Carell told me that he actually got to meet Ted Cassidy long before the Addams Family. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, through most of the shows with the question and answer panel, it was very different because, as kids, you just want to have fun, don't really know too much or care too much. I mean, you play in between takes, and it was actually really cool to hear Carl, some of the questions they answered of how it was on set, what went on, just to hear others' takes of it. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. And it was even more interesting because I'm sure, as you've known, up until last year, I've never really done any of the signings. I've never been involved in any of that. Mm-hmm. So I pretty much lived my life, quit acting at about 18, 19, and went on and really never thought about it too much. But the really cool thing was, going to the shows, a lot of people were showing us pictures of, Halloween, them dressed up as Pugsley and Wednesday, Morticia Gomez, Uncle Fester. And a lot of people were telling us, how the movies impacted their lives. So I never really knew it as a kid, but as of hearing it now, it was actually a pretty cool experience.
Mm-hmm. How fun was it making the MC Hammer video?
that was cool. It was a lot of fun. I'm not much of a dancer, so it was, I think for me, it was, I knew who MC Hammer was. Cool. I get to meet MC Hammer.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting on how they shoot music videos and all the loud music and the choreography. And MC Hammer was just an awesome guy.
Yeah.
All the way around.
That's one of my favorite movie soundtrack videos, and I've done it in karaoke.
How'd it go?
It's hard for me to rap, follow along. So I generally try to avoid rap at all costs.
That's okay. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Well, I'll make an exception and do that one at least because I love it so much. So which of the two did you have fun making the most?
I mean, it's hard to say. They were definitely different experiences. Mm-hmm. Probably I would say the second.
Yeah.
At least for me, I would say.
Yeah, the second one is just as much fun as the first. It's one of those rare occasions where the sequel is just as good as the first one, I think.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, all of them were great. So it's hard for me because the childhood was it was fun. Mm-hmm. So I really couldn't choose 100% which was the best. The second one was definitely fun because I actually understood more about it. I understood how they started to make the films and the props.
Yeah. How was working with Joan Cusack?
Joan was always very nice. And I'll be honest, I don't remember too much other than she was just nice to us. More of what I remember is, Christopher, Angelica, Raul, Christina, all the main people that we were always surrounded with.
Yeah. How was Barry Sonnenfeld as a director?
Barry was cool. He was funny. Barry was a really nice guy. Scott Rudin was really cool. Yeah.
I mean, he was a cinematographer all those years, so he's got a really good eye for filmmaking.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, everything that I've seen after, he's a great director.
Yeah. Men in Black.
Yep.
Wild Wild West. Yeah.
Yep. They were all very, very, very cool. I mean, I wasn't an actor. They made me feel comfortable before reading up there, talked to me, just hung out. And it's a very different thing because growing up in New York, you're always taught don't talk to strangers, don't talk to people you know. And to be honest with you, I wasn't the politest child. So it was definitely an experience going into a room with a ton of people.
Yeah.
And trying to read a script.
Yeah, I see you played a bully on Matlock.
Yeah, I did little stuff throughout. Black Sheep, Tommy Boy, Christmas in Connecticut. I did little stuff after the Addams Family. A lot of voiceovers. So it was a good time, but it goes back to the same thing as you get typecast. Mm-hmm. And the acting thing for me is I never really cared about it too much when I was a kid. And as I got older, it wasn't my main focus. Mm-hmm. So, my biggest thing is if I don't believe in something and my heart, I should say, is not in it 100%, there was no reason for me to do it. So I hung those shoes up around 18 or 19.
You said you were in Tommy Boy?
Yeah, very small parts here and there. I did for like agents and managers. Hey, you should do this, and it was fun, and I did little parts. But I have really long hair.
Yeah.
It would be very hard to spot me because I looked completely different than anything. I had hair down to my shoulders. I was actually thin.
Mm-hmm. And then you also were it as good as it gets.
Yep. That was a small part as well. I was Sean from the bakery. I mean, as well, again, very long hair, and no one would ever know.
Mm-hmm. You like working with James L. Brooks?
Yeah, they were all very nice. It was so quick scenes that I wasn't there for too long, so never really got into like contact conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It was more or less when these directors and actors when they're in the midst of everything and doing their job, they're straightforward to get to the point and get the job done. You know, usually after, you know, when you're off work, people will hang out, we'll talk, and get to know each other. I wasn't around long enough for that.
When you did that Matlock, though, did you have any interaction with Andy Griffith?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you're completely out of acting. What do you do now again?
I became a Teamster.
Right, Teamster.
For us, yep. I became a Teamster, so I do captaining and coordinating on a lot of different smaller films that have been getting bigger. I'm a driver on a lot of different TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. We're usually the first ones there and the last ones out. But what I can tell you is there's a whole group of men and women that work extremely hard to assist in making all the movies.
Yeah. So you haven't completely given up the business. You're still in it. You're just not acting.
Absolutely. Look, I love this industry,
mm-hmm.
but I like the more mechanical part of the background of helping assist get the movie made.
Yeah.
It's still a really neat business. You get to meet a lot of really cool people, go new places. So it's a lot of fun.
Do you ever have a desire to direct?
No. I mean, maybe it would be fun to try and do something small, but I got to give it to these directors and producers. The creative part of what they do
mm-hmm.
it's a tough job.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tough job. I give it to them. My hat's off.
Yeah. It's not for everybody. So January 31st and February 1st, you'll be signing at the Hollywood Show in Burbank. So this is your first time doing the show?
Yes. It's the very first time that I'll be doing it.
And you mentioned before you're relatively new to the signing show scene. Have you had any fun doing them?
It's been awesome. I mean, I got to go different places, meet a whole bunch of people, hear a bunch of stories, as I was saying, about how the Addams Family impacted their lives, and just talking to a lot of really cool people.
Yeah.
I had a blast while doing it.
It doesn't get old or crazy.
Not at all. It actually, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Some of the people that I've met, they reach out to me on Facebook and, share pictures of their families, and throughout Halloween, they'll send pictures. Hey, Jimmy, look, we went as Wednesday in Pugsley. Just some honestly really cool people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Next time, if you're ever at a convention in California and I happen to be going, I'll let you know and I'll come see you there.
Definitely be really cool to meet you in person.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, I thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope next weekend at the Hollywood show you have a great time.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much.
Have a great day.
All right, you too, Tom. All
Okay.
right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Jimmy Workman. Ain't he a cool dude? Oh, that's great that he's still in the industry, just not in front of the camera. He's kind of behind the camera. That's so cool. I'm glad that he's still doing it. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!